The saga of the lean codes lives on. In my effort to figure out where these lean codes are coming from, because I'm pretty much at the point where it keeps coming back to I've got a vacuum leak, because I think I've ruled out everything else. I tested my my fuel sensor, or my fuel pressure, and that seems to be good. So I went back and I said, let me just smoke test this thing one last time. And in the process of taking this off, I cracked this piece. Now, here's a hopeful wish. While I'm upset that I broke this, because this part's about 140 bucks, and I called Rover today, they don't have one in stock, which I think is kind of weird, actually. This happens, or this crack, or technically, well, first of all, let me back up. It's 10 degrees today, okay? So the plastic was definitely brittle, and I'm yanking it off like a gorilla. And I probably should have taken the screws off the air box, and that's probably the correct way to do it, rather than sort of squeeze the hose and try to finagle it in there. So I broke this, or I cracked it, and I was like, oh shit, I cracked it. But then it made me think, well, is it possible that it was already cracked, right? And that just, I finally just did it in, and that would be good news. Now I can't verify it because, but that would be good, because this is after the mass airflow sensor, meaning if it was cracked and it was pulling air in there, well, that would in fact be a problem. So went to Harbor Freight. I'm not going to do this for like long term, but I'm doing it just because I can't sit still and I want to experiment and sort of figure out what the deal is. So I've always wanted to see if you could make a good repair with this plastic welding kit. It was 16 bucks. Came with a couple of rods, this thing, and some mesh wire. I don't know what that's for, because I'm not even going to open it, because I don't care. It's how I roll. So my strategy is, boom, super glue. So what I'm going to do is, it fits in there pretty snug. So I'm just going to tack it with the super glue, if you will, just to get it so it stays in place. And then I'm going to go for the plastic weld. And then if I'm feeling really ghetto, I might hit it with some Flex Seal. That's right. Might hit it with some Flex Seal. We'll see. All right, we'll report back. All right, so you can see that's the super glue. Tacked it there. Now, if you see carefully, there's a crack there. All right? There's a hole, okay? So the question was that there prior to this whole thing cracking? I don't know. Frankly, I don't know if it matters. How long is this stuff gonna take to dry? Like forever. All right, well, I guess I'll have to wait that dry. You know what? I'm probably gonna clean that up, not wait for it to dry, because I put like 5 ounces of it on there. And we're gonna go right for the plastic welding. Let's see. All right. So let me show you the end product here. So I didn't film actually doing it, but that thing from Harbor Freight works pretty damn well, and it creates the stuff when it dries. It melts pretty damn easy, and you're like, oh, this is going to be like soft, like gaskety. But when it dries, it is like hard as a rock. So short of the long is, I repaired the crack, and then I just gave it a couple of spritz of Flex Seal on top of it, and I put her all back together. Made sure my box was in place, and went out driving this morning just to see how she was holding up. And I did notice a noticeable drop in my long-term fuel trims. My long-term fuel trims were not going above 6 or 7. and at a smooth idle or a consistent idle, they were dropping to 2 or 3, and that was compared to 17 or 18 prior to this. So I am pretty conclusively saying that, you know, just what y'all said. I did have a vacuum leak, and it was just very subtle, and no matter, I looked at this thing 100 times and I couldn't find it. And the good news is, boom, took her in today and she passed inspection, no problem, and Rover lives on for another year. And I am right now at an abandoned men's facility called Camp LaGuardia in Chester, New York. It's pretty badass in here. All right, thanks for your help, everyone.